There are those who speak and those who listen. But every so often, someone shows up who does both with uncommon purpose and an open notebook in hand. Nicole Banks is a power connector, a woman whose network doesn't just span industries, it sparks movements. For more than 2 decades, she's solved problems others run from, built what others said couldn't be done, and highlighted the wisdom of giants, one page at a time. This is Nicole's Business Notebook, a curated circle of brilliance, a behind-the-scenes pass to the strategies, stories, and secrets shared by the experts she calls friends. It's not just a show, it's a blueprint for those bold enough to build. So settle in, because the notebook is open.
Hi, it's Nicole Banks again, here with Nicole's Business Notebook. Always bringing together my business friends to give the latest tips and tricks to help us all do business better here in the Greater Valley and beyond. Today I have Jim Lupkin here from Six Sigma Funnels. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. Glad to have you. So, for those that don't know, you have a vast social media experience and, that whole bit, and have a great new exciting thing coming out shortly. So let's kind of start at the beginning, starting social media all those years ago to now. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey? What got you, influenced to want to be in social media?
Yes. 1995, I was told to do a particular business a certain way, tried to do it, failed miserably. And then I was senior in high school. My high school librarian taught us how to use a computer. Now think about what it looked like back then. And while I was on there, I stumbled onto Yahoo chat groups and AOL message boards. Yep. And I started making friends. Now, friends in a loose term, but I started connecting with people. And they started to become my customers. And they started to refer business to me. And that's what launched my social media is, for 30 years now, I've been able to meet people online, build a real connection with them that turned into business or referrals. And even when I started to make money, I start trying all the other ways. And I quickly realized it's not fun. I always went back to the relationships, and I just noticed when you do it online, it just happens a lot faster. So that's what got me started. I was desperate. I'm trying to succeed as an affiliate in this particular industry and just struggling like crazy, and social media saved me.
That's amazing. Yeah, obviously back in the day, AOL and Yahoo and, all those things to now, there's been a lot of changes in social media.
Yes.
That's obviously a journey in itself. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of riding that wave and, what you've seen in your last 30 years of social media?
Seen it all. That's for sure. And I've seen it from all different angles. I've seen it from an affiliate selling products for other companies. I've seen it, and with that, you can also say like a solopreneur these days. So I've seen it from that angle for a good decade. Then for another decade, I saw it from a small business owner perspective, which is very different. Then I've seen it from a technology point of view, because we used to own a software company, and we built a competitor to Facebook and MySpace. So I got deep appreciation for the tech side of social media and what it takes to build these things. I've seen it from big business, worked with multi-billion-dollar companies on social media. So definitely seen it from all the different angles. I've also done business in roughly 110 countries. So I've seen it in many different countries. United States, Canada, Mexico, Hong Kong, Thailand, China. Seen it from all these different angles, helping businesses in all of these countries, about 110 roughly. And also many different markets, B2B, B2C, dozens and dozens and dozens of different products. And what I've noticed over all of that, and also all the fads. So like, hey, have you heard of, and then, just fill in the blank.
Right.
Today, have you heard of influencer marketing? Have you heard of content creator? Have you heard of sales funnels? Have you heard, and these are some of the current terms, but those things, there was different words in the 90s and early 2000s, but it's always the newest technology that helps a business infiltrate social media better. What I believe, though, all of these things I just said and many, many more, they all have a place and they all work. But they do not work for 100% of all businesses.
Right.
What does work for 100% of every single business that I've ever seen has been building relationships, 100% of the time. Building relationships on social media, once again, 100% of the time. So that's why I always lean into it, because I know with absolute certainty, whatever I'm doing, it will be successful because relationships never fail.
Correct. Yeah, no, I love that. And as an advocate for relationships, I 100% see that. So, maybe older business owners or those that are just getting into business, they may not think of social media as a way to grow their business. But obviously, in your experience, you've seen the opposite.
Yes.
What would you tell them? What advice would you give? What would you get them to kind of make the leap to join social media as a way to improve their business?
I've heard that question so many times in 30 years. I hear it less today than I did even probably 10 years ago, because social media is just so big. And let's just remember, what is social media? Because people use different terms and they think, well, that's not social media. Like some people think that TikTok is not social media, and all these different terms. So I don't want to get into the nitpick of all these different terms. What I believe is when you connect with another human being and build a real connection with them through whatever platform you love on the internet, that is what I'm talking about when I say social media. You can call it social networking. Let's not get into the marketing terms that the media has created for us. It's all about building connections. So with that being said, the older crowd that you mentioned, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, et cetera, why would they want to do this? Because they grew up in a time when relationships truly mattered and they built incredible relationships face to face. So if you're in that age group, you already believe in relationships and you believe that they work face to face. So I challenge you, if you believe they work face to face, could they work online if you did a video call? The answer is yes.
Right.
And there's so much proof behind what I'm saying. So just don't get frozen by the tech, because that's why they don't want to do it. It's because they think it's all tech driven. Fall in love with the relationship side of social media. You focus on that. All you're doing is what you do face to face, you're now doing through social media sites, and you already believe in that. That's what I would say to them.
Yeah, I love that. So for me, social media is, one of those love-hate relationships. It's great to post and, all that, but it's, hard to be consistent.
Yep.
So, when it comes to your approach on social media, is it better to just post it and just get it done when you have the inkling, or is consistency really king for you in your approach?
One answer is anything is better than nothing. So whatever you can do is going to make an impact compared to if you don't do it at all. The second side is there is a certain way of doing things if you want to maximize your results. And that is using a systematic approach. And if you use a systematic approach, you will get what I call a predictive result every single time. And if you're trying to build a business or trying to spread the word about something, I'm sure you want to optimize your time. You do not want to waste time. You want to get the most results with the least amount of effort. So you follow system type of thinking.
I love that. So apparently there is a right way then?
There's a right way.
Okay.
There's a right way when it comes to optimizing.
Okay, I love that. So, you mentioned systems, and just knowing your personal history. Six Sigma is something that is, very important to you and how you run your business and, how you kind of think of the world of business. How did you get involved in Six Sigma, and how does that sort of systematic approach influence your social media approach?
Roughly 15 years ago, I met the creator of Six Sigma by chance. My sales rep was out sick. His head of marketing was out sick. They were supposed to meet each other. My sales rep said, "You really need to go. I think there's something unique here." So I said, "Okay, I'll take the meeting." I drove to this place. The head of marketing for the Six Sigma Institute there was out sick, but Michael was there, Dr. Michael Harry, who's the co-creator of Six Sigma. And he's like, well, you know what? Let's just chat. What do you got? So I showed what I was doing. We end up becoming friends. And I had no idea what Six Sigma was then. No idea. And I took him through this presentation of building real relationships. And at the time, he was building a fourth generation of Six Sigma. So when you look at Six Sigma, only about 5% of the entire business world uses Six Sigma, roughly 5%, according to what he told me. That's 95% that don't use it. But yet it literally changed the face of business. So he was building a fourth generation of Six Sigma to help the 95%ers, something much more simple. Mm-hmm. And so he was getting ready to do that. I remember he picked up his book and he threw it across the room. And he's like, I just wasted all this time doing this because what you're doing is the direction I want to go to get this out to the world. And that's how our first meeting was. And he's like, what's your most expensive package back then? This is 15 years ago. So I told him what it was. He wrote me a check for it. I'm like, you don't even know what was in the package. He goes, I don't care about the package. In fact, I'm not even going to use it. I just want to show you that I'm serious. And he goes, by the way, I just changed your life. I walked out the door. I'm thinking, who is this guy that talk like this?
Yeah.
And within a couple of days, I realized how big Six Sigma was. And the rest is history. And, for all of the people that are listening right now that don't know what Six Sigma is, here in the Phoenix Valley, last time I checked, the entire city of Phoenix at the government level uses Six Sigma to run the city. Mm-hmm. You can get a degree in Six Sigma at ASU. Mm-hmm. Six Sigma is everywhere. Almost every big company uses it to run their companies. So it's a very big deal. And what it comes down to is it's all about getting a predictive result and squeezing, this is literally Michael's words, squeezing data in every possible way to know exactly all the different angles of a business so that that way you make very accurate results. So he taught me that way of thinking, and I fell in love with it because I already had that type of thinking before I met him. Yeah. And so I totally just fell in love with it. And I applied that to building relationships. And between Michael and I, end up building something really amazing.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, Six Sigma is, basically a PhD in business, with on-the-job training and, collaboration with mentors and the whole bit. And it's super, super intense. When you graduate, it's amazing, mm-hmm. But it's definitely a process to get there. So can you go more into, obviously it's data-driven, but if you were to kind of describe what a Six Sigma black belt is, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as a set of processes that somebody learns, and then that's how they run their company. And the processes will spit out very predictive results. So then that way, as you're building a company, if something is off, like you're trying to grow revenue, save on expenses, or other things, when something is off, you know exactly where the problem's happening and you fix it right away. And a few years ago, I took some certifications at Babson College and Harvard Business School. And when I was through these certifications, as I was explaining to this one person that was running marketing for, I think it was Panera Bread. She was part of the class with me. And she goes, so what you're telling me is, you know exactly what social media levers to pull to get a predictive result every time. And I was like, yeah. And that's exactly what Six Sigma is. It knows exactly what levers to pull to optimize the success of a business. And then everyone at the top management follows those processes every single day. Instead of thinking and making emotional decisions, you're making decisions based on hard data. So Six Sigma is all about data. And then my system is all about relationships and about heart. So when you combine data with heart, really what this is Six Sigma with heart. And what I end up learning was I didn't become a black belt. I started going down that route and I'm like, whoa, this stuff is really complex.
100%.
So I fell in love with Michael's fourth generation of Six Sigma, which was much easier to understand. And it's really how to break down problems and get a very predictive result. And that's why I fell in love with it.
That's amazing. So you kind of got to my next question. So
Yes.
Six Sigma Funnels is kind of this brainchild amalgamation of heart and data and processes, all to leverage social media. So what inspired you to make that connection and bring those two facets of business together?
So when I met Michael, I was about 16 years roughly into my career. And I've created a lot of success in the affiliate world and in the small business world. Like, for example, the software company we grew to 1,200 customers in just 2 years. And I had 6 sales reps, full-time, building relationships on social media. So by the time I met Michael, the relationship side of this system I made was very strong. When I met Michael, he started teaching me predictive thinking. And I started looking at that. I looked at relationships, and I realized in the business world, there is nothing that exists that can scale a company via relationships. And everyone I spoke to, they always said the same thing. Relationships work great when you first start a business, but you can't actually scale a business through relationships. There's no consistency. And so as I'm learning Six Sigma and just how Michael thinks, I started to think maybe this is the opportunity to scale relationships. So through many conversations with Michael and really understanding the 4th generation of Six Sigma and how to break down critical thinking, I took that, combined it with relationships, many conversations with Michael on it. And then I took and tested it with a company. And we grew the company from 12 million to 87 million in revenue in just 16 months. And it was like 200,000 customers on a $60 product. And as we were growing, I was constantly analyzing what you would consider the Six Sigma piece. Mm-hmm. And so whenever something was off a little bit, I knew exactly how to adjust it. And so we had total control. So for the first time, we were forecasting what the sales would be in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. And we were pretty darn close. And that got me excited because how many businesses could truly predict what their revenue is going to be in a year or 2 years?
Right.
It's so random in how they come up with it. And here I was able to say, nope, this is what it's going to be. And this is what it will be month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. And when it's off, I can look and see exactly why it's off and make the adjustment. That's powerful.
100%.
So that is what I end up creating, is a system that has a blend of data, a blend of relationships. And that was the last 15 years of my career, roughly, so the first 16 was all about relationship. Incredible success. Then the next 15 or so after that, I added in the data thinking, and then it just went to a whole other level. Incredible, like with that one company. Mm-hmm. And then that caused just a lot of great success stories. So many success stories with all different types of businesses. Like one business, I think they were at 20,000 a month in revenue. In like 6 months, we had them over 100,000 a month in revenue for a small business. Mm-hmm. And she's like, how did you do it? And I'm like, well, not to confuse you on stuff, but I was just able to analyze the stuff all the time when it comes to relationship. And just so many stories. And yeah, so that's data and relationships, first of its kind. There's, as far as I know, there's nothing out there like this. And we have 30 years of duplicating, replicating the success over and over and over again.
That's amazing. So, the title of this product is Six Sigma Funnels. So is it a Six Sigma affiliated product? Is it your own design with Michael kind of in the back as an advisor? Like, how did you come up with Six Sigma Funnels as a name?
I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I think this is a really cool story. So after I was working with Michael for a while, and then I went to Texas and created that pretty big success story. And then that ended up creating some best-selling books that I wrote. And that all led me to one day, maybe 5 years later, sitting in Bangkok, Thailand, with a board of about 30 people. One of them took 75 companies public on a New York Stock Exchange. I get up, start talking about relationships, super excited, and start talking about Six Sigma. And this guy was in his 80s and very, very successful at taking companies public. And he looked at me, and at the time I was on a board of a publicly traded company. And he looked at me and he goes, are you telling me that you can scale relationships? Because I've never heard of this before, because no one can do it. And you're trying to tell me you can. I go, yes. And he goes, prove it. So I'm starting to share the different stories. He goes, no, I want the consistency. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, show me a formula. And I sat there and I thought for a minute, as much as I worked with Michael, I never actually took the time and drew out a formula. So I was with my partner and I said, hey, I was very frustrated when I walked out of that room because we had a ton of success stories. But I'm thinking, you know what? I think he's right. So we went upstairs in a hotel room for about 2 hours and drew out the formula that I've been doing my entire career, coupled in with what Michael taught me. And we actually drew a formula on Excel with all of this, with all this different stuff that we can pull on a different levers. And for the first time in my career, I saw, it was like looking into the matrix. Wow. I saw the formula of my system, not just me talking about it. Yeah. And everyone that I ever share that Excel sheet with is just blown away because it shows the underbelly of what we're talking about. So now bring that up to today. Up until now, there is this amazing formula, a lot of success. And I wanted to say, what do I want to do with the rest of my career? I'm 47 years old. I felt like I've achieved everything that I wanted in the world in terms of like business. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what do I want to do now? And I want to give back. I want to create a legacy. I want to be able to impact and actually disrupt. And I took a class at Harvard Business School a few years ago called Disruptive Strategy. And the reason is because a lot of people say they're disrupting, but very few people are. Mm-hmm. So the professor at the time was Clayton Christensen, who was coined the godfather of disruption. So I figure that's like who you need to learn from. Yeah. So I take this class, learn from Clayton, and then I finally like realized what disruption actually means. Compared it to the system, because we had to choose a project. The project was, of course, this system. Mm-hmm. And it came out that this system is truly disruptive. So from that point on, I couldn't stop, but I couldn't stop thinking this is something disruptive that can change not just an industry, but the entire world of business as we know it. We can create what I call a relationship-based economy and literally change the face of the planet the way that Six Sigma did. And going with Harvard to help validate that. Right. So speed that up to now, I'm like, okay, how do I get this out to the world? I can train businesses, but that's very hard. Yeah. Last year, because of AI, AI really opened up an opportunity. I recognized that we could automate roughly 99% of this entire system for a business, and they only have to apply 1%. That's a game changer because now any small business could take this, get the same results that I get if I actually worked in their company and not have to learn it all. Right. It's just all done for them. They get to focus on the most fun part, building the relationships. Mm-hmm. So started building this over Christmas. We're now getting close to launching it. We're just a few weeks away from our beta release. Mm-hmm. And it's Six Sigma with heart. And as I was thinking about like a company name, I wanted to honor Michael because he's made such a huge impact in my life. So I wanted the word Six Sigma to be there. And I started thinking about like, what are we doing? Relationship-based economy makes sense. That's some big vision thinking, no. Mm-hmm. What can I compare this to? And something very popular today are sales funnels. Right. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is kind of like a funnel because you start at the top, you bring a bunch of people in, you mature the relationship through multiple layers, and then what comes out at the end? A customer or they refer you business. Yep. So in my opinion, I believe we are the world's first relationship funnel. And so that's where we came up with the name Six Sigma Funnels, because it is more than just a relationship funnel. Anyone can do that. But because we have the level of predictability in it, Six Sigma, Six Sigma Funnels was born. And it's going live in May of 2025. And it's going to change the face of business. And it's going to do it ridiculously fast. And I have to thank AI. I have to thank automation. And businesses have already gotten incredible results with it, manually doing it. Mm-hmm. Now they're not going to have to manually do it. And if you want to give you an example of what the first phase will look like. I love it. So if you look at the concept of a relationship funnel, many different layers. And if you break down the system that I've been doing for 30 years, you can break it into these layers. Well, the very top of the funnel is the same as a sales funnel, which is you got to get people in it. So I love the idea of never running out of people to talk to. So the top of the funnel takes care of that.
Right.
And so with what we're doing going live, it's going to connect a business with up to 30 qualified people. That's their ideal customer per day, 30 people a day. And if somebody wants to do less because maybe they can't handle that much, that's fine. They can do as low as 3 people a day if they want to. But it will connect them with up to 30 people a day. That would be their perfect customer. And we automate 99% of what I just said. And what does that actually mean? When I teach people how to do this, or when I do it myself, it takes about 50 hours a month to do 30 people a day. But when you figure out how much money you can grow by, it's well worth the time. The problem is most people don't have that time.
Right.
So this Six Sigma funnels will automate that 50 hours. So what does the user need to do? Roughly 15 minutes a month to start off the month to make sure everything's set up, ready to go for the next 30 days. So they're trading 50 hours in for 15 minutes. And they'll get the same results, and they won't have to do any of the Six Sigma. All the Six Sigma components will be all automated. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing. I'm super excited. So, for those that may be, kind of on the fence considering it, I know that we have a first 30 days sort of thing. Can you explain the onboarding process and what that's going to look like?
Yes. So I hate selling, truly hate it. So with that being said, what I like to do is I just like to show and tell. So we'll give you a 30-day free trial. If you like it, keep using it. If you don't like it, stop using it. And because that's how I like being sold. So you will get a 30-day free trial, and all you have to do is give us a video that says, my name is, this is my business, and this is why I want to try it. That's it. And in exchange, you get a 30-day free trial. You get to actually see it in action working for your business. At the end of 30 days, you have 2 choices. You can pay $197 a month, which is a great price compared to anything out there. Or you can pay $97 a month, and all you have to do is share a video with us and just tell us what results you got over the last 30 days. $97 a month. And we'll connect you with 30 people a day. And there are some automation tools I've seen out there that connect you with people. Everyone I talk to that is using another tool, and not when I say tool, we're a system, but this is what I hear from those people. I see some automation out there, but what I see different with you is the Six Sigma piece. You're actually able to tell me if I'm doing good or if I need to change something. And you show how to build a relationship and turn it into something of trust. And if you see any of the automation out there or AI, that's all it is AI or automation.
Yep.
And so that's the big difference. Try it.
Try it. I love that.
Try it, fall in love with it, and use it. If you want to refer people, we have rewards for that as well.
Amazing.
This entire community is built on relationships.
I love that. So can you cast some vision about Six Sigma funnels, where you want to go and how it can impact business nationwide and countrywide, global?
Yes. Well, I will share very high level because I don't want to share the details and then we have a competitor copying. Right. So here's what I'll share. What we're launching with is the ability for someone to never run out of people to talk to by connecting them with up to 30 people a day of their ideal target customer. So that's what we'll be launching with. And it'll be launched on Facebook first, LinkedIn shortly thereafter. And over time, and when I say over time, very quickly. So we have a team of 45 developers. So we're going to be building stuff very quickly.
Yep.
So the entire system that I've been using for 30 years is much more than just this first level. There's a lot to it. And so we're going to be releasing all of it in phases. Once the final phase is done, what that ultimately means to someone that's going to use it is that they're going to be able to, with incredible accuracy, convert 1 in every 5 people they're talking to a customer or a referral. And if they're not doing it, they're going to know exactly what they're doing wrong to make that adjustment. And almost all of it's going to be automated. So they're not even going to be doing the actual work. We're going to be telling them, this is where you sit, this is where you're going wrong, make the adjustment. And that's the level of AI and automation. Then beyond that, this will move towards, let's see, how can I say this? Because there's so much, and I got to keep some of it private. I will tell you that we will be adding additional services that will help somebody be more successful. So, for example, if like when I look at our service, I ask myself, why would somebody cancel Six Sigma funnels? And do we have a solution for that? And an example would be they in our system we teach them and help them gain influence very quickly. So there's multiple ways to do it. And one of the ways is if you do your own podcast, and it will build influence very, very fast.
Right.
And so one of the services that they'll be able to get is their own podcast, and it will expedite their influence. So that's an example of an additional service. So we're always looking at what services does someone need to ensure they're successful so they can optimize Six Sigma funnels. Now, for anyone out there that is saying, oh, wait, are you going to be a competitor with me after I'm using Six Sigma funnels? Because I did have someone ask me that. And the answer is no. Our services are being given to our users. We're not out there publicly trying to build a company on a particular service. It's just to take care of our own internal users.
Right.
And then beyond that, we are the long term. And I'm going to springboard to the end here because I got to keep the rest confidential. Mm-hmm. In the end, this is what we'll end up creating, a relationship-based economy. That is a long-term play. So when you see this become incredibly big, and we have 15 million of the 34 million businesses in the United States using it, and even more worldwide, what will end up happening is we'll have achieved a relationship-based economy model where all these businesses are using this ecosystem that's being developed, and they're growing based on relationships. And when you grow a business based on relationships, it's not just a business that changes, you change. So what happens is all those great things that you learn to create true relationships, you now take it into your personal life. You become a better father, a better spouse, a better friend, a better community member in your town. And so that's what it means to build a relationship-based economy. And what we're building will lead in and pioneer that. So it's all about making true disruption in the world and really making a difference.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. You know, the vision that you've cast and the different things along the way, you know, really, I believe are going to change the world, which I think is amazing. And obviously, you know, super excited to be part of it. But, you know, one thing that you've talked about, you know, the last podcast in here is relationships.
Yeah.
You know, how would you recommend, you know, in this time, you know, somebody listens to this, Six Sigma funnels isn't out yet, there isn't that solution. You know, what are some tips that you might give to an entrepreneur to kind of have this sort of relationship basis be a bigger tenet of their business?
When you think of relationship, break it down into 3 pieces: know, like, and trust. So the know is someone just needs to know that you exist. So that means you have to get yourself out there.
Right.
You have to get more active on social media. You have to get more active in your local community. The more active you are, the more people know you. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Then once these people start to know you, they have to like you. How do you develop like? You can just simply smile. As wild as that sounds. If you don't smile, you will have less friends. If you smile, you have more friends. Mm-hmm. When you smile, it makes the people feel good. So practice smiling a lot. Practice being happy. Another is don't focus on yourself. Focus on others. And here is what's incredible about what I just said. I see this a lot with people that I see making a few $100,000 a year income in whatever they're doing, and people that are making several $1,000,000. I notice that I'm not going to say all of them, because there's obviously amazing, wonderful people that are in those income brackets. But I notice a lot of those people, they're always worrying about themselves. And I know that most of the world and most of the country do not even make that money. So I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking in, like if you just focus on yourself and that's all you do, you can make a few $100,000 a year. You can make a couple $1,000,000. But if you're going to get to something beyond that, a billionaire, 100 million, you can't focus on yourself. You have to focus on others. And you have to keep saying to yourself, how do I deliver value to somebody else and make their life better because they know me? So now, for anyone who's thinking, well, I don't want to build anything that big. I just want to make enough money to pay my mortgage and food on the table. What I just said is for everybody. How can you deliver value into someone's life? How can you make someone's life better because you're in it? You have to remove yourself from the equation. You have to stop thinking about yourself so much. So here's some ways you can do it. If you pop into my mind and I'm driving, I'm going to shoot you a text. I'm going to send you a message on social media. Hey, you just popped into my mind. Just want to say hi. I'm thinking about them. Well, what's that even mean, Jim? Well, if I was just thinking about myself, I would be like, well, I'm not going to do that. I don't have time. But if I'm thinking about them, I want them to know that someone cares about them. So little simple things. And just because I know we're limited on time here, high level, stop thinking about yourself. Think about empowering others. And when you do that, you end up making far more money. You end up being far more successful in your own business than you ever thought possible. So that's how you develop that like. Then the final piece is trust. Trust does not take a lot of time. You can build trust in one meeting. How do you build trust? Well, first they have to know you exist and they have to like you.
Right.
If they don't like you because you won't smile,
Right.
Forget about the trust. So it does go in order. Trust is they have to believe that you're a good human being, that whatever you're going to do, you're not going to hurt them. You could do that in one meeting. So how do you do that? If you're in a negotiation with somebody, and I'm talking as though people that are listening to this are business people,
Right.
do not try to get the better deal. Sounds crazy. Well, I took negotiation, blah, 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 and that's what they teach. I took a course a few years ago at Harvard Business School on negotiation mastery. And when I got done, I can sum up the whole course from Harvard into one thing: make sure both people win. That's literally the whole course. And make it about a win-win. So that's like one way of building trust. Whatever you're doing, it doesn't have to be a negotiation. It could be meeting up for dinner. It could be a phone call. Always create a win-win, no matter what. Don't make it about you. Hey, when can we do our meeting? Well, when are you available? I just made it about them, not myself. And as long as it fits into my schedule, I created a win-win.
Right.
So always create a win-win in every single thing you do with business. Some people will take advantage of it. That's okay. So every time you're creating a win-win, just ask yourself, if the worst thing happens, whatever that is, will I be okay? Mm-hmm. And if the answer is yes, then you go do it.
Right.
And then that way, if somebody doesn't believe in the trust concept, it's okay. You're not going to be hurt if they kind of go rogue on you. Right. So focus on others to develop the trust. Always make sure it's a win-win. And the negotiation is a good one because everyone's always trying to get the upper hand. And I think that's what sours relationships. Just make sure you guys both win. So that know, like, and trust, if you focus on that within your business, you're going to get people that want to try your product. And more excitingly, you're going to get people that want to refer people to you.
And that's where the big business is.
That's where, yeah, referrals. Spending money on advertising all the time is expensive. Mm-hmm. it's a known fact. You can look up the data. Referrals is the best way to grow a business because they're already coming to you with trust because their friend told them to check you out. So the trust is already there. Right. All you have to do is build the influence. Basically, the influence is, can you actually solve their problem?
I love it. So, obviously those are great tips for entrepreneurs and, really any industry could, benefit from that. Taking it one step further though, when it comes to building referrals, do you have any sort of insights or thoughts to have a business improve those?
To improve referrals?
Yeah.
I would say focus on the customer. It's all about the customer experience. Make sure that the customer feels that you're taking so good care of them that they can't help but to tell other people. Even if you don't want to do something because you're like, oh, I can't do that. It's going to take time, or it's going to take too much time, or oh, it's going to cost me an extra $15 or whatever the thing is that holds you back, just do it anyway. Because when you give that much value to somebody, they're going to want their friends to experience it. That's probably the biggest thing I can say about getting referrals. And then another is give them a reason to refer. Giving them a reason to refer will only work if you do the first thing I said.
Right.
And then once you show them that much amazing customer experience, they're naturally going to want to refer. Right. So now go to the next part, which is give them a reason to refer. Give them a discount on your product or service, give them free product and service, give them a commission, give them something. And what I would even say to the people, your customers, is, hey, I know you're going to refer no matter what because you want to help people, but this is just a way for me to say thank you. That goes back to relationship. And so that's what there's more, and you go down different rabbit holes, but those are probably the two biggest, I would say, with referring.
I love that. Yeah, I guess, my sort of tip for, getting more referrals, and I think especially for new business owners or new salespeople, is ask. Mm-hmm. Actually ask for the referral too. Yes. I think that's important as the customer journey and pushing them through. Is there anyone else that who would benefit from this? Yes. And using your words, I was always really surprised when I asked that question, when I got the gumption and got the the chutzpah to actually ask. I normally got, oh, hey, you know what? Actually, I do know somebody as a response. And
let me throw in a thought to that.
Yeah.
Social media. It takes effort for someone to refer someone to you, and people are busy. Mm-hmm. But you could also talk to their contacts through social media. Yep. So if you're friends with somebody on Facebook, they may have 500 friends. Well, out of those 500, maybe 100 of them you resonate with, that you'd actually want to be their friend, even if you weren't in business.
Right.
Send them a friend request. They're going to hear about what you do if you do it properly. And when that moment comes, you're going to be able to say, oh yeah, Nicole uses my product. Oh, really? So now you're being proactive in generating the referral yourself. And that's actually part of Six Sigma funnels, is generate the referral yourself. Don't even ask people. Yep. Just go and do it yourself, because then you can do 30 people a day. Mm-hmm. And as long as you focus on the relationship and only bring up your product when it's appropriate, yep, your customer's not going to mind.
Right. No, I love that. And one of the things about Six Sigma that I really enjoy is that it, kind of gives you the directives. Like, this is what you need to post. This is what you need to do. This is the frequency that you need to do things. Mm-hmm. There's parameters, and obviously you've automated a lot, but those different kind of instructions are there and guidance. So getting back into Six Sigma, a person joins the beta. What sort of like education or information are they going to have to help them to figure out your system?
So for the beta release, it's one phase compared to the whole entire system.
Right.
So for the beta release, there's one primary piece that they need to understand. And they need to understand that all of the friend requests that are going out, how many are actually converting? And is that conversion percent good, bad, or extraordinary? So if it's bad, how do I fix it? Mm-hmm. If it's good, then just keep on going. Or if it's extraordinary, they should know that they hit a very special spot.
Right.
And so the calculation is already done for them using the formula, but it's understanding if the conversion of friend requests to friends is good or not.
No, that makes sense. So one of the other things I think it's important to know in the, sort of approach of this is that you're not going to be talking to 30 people on day one. There's a ramp up process. So can you explain that?
Yes. So you have to do a ramp up process on social media, because if you just start to reach out to a lot of people quickly, the social media platforms are going to think you have no interest in building relationships. Odds are you probably don't. So you need to ramp it up to stay aligned with the rules of social media. And so we'll be ramping up, and we'll be, don't want to give the exact formula because that's private, but we'll be ramping it up week after week after week in a very specific format that is based on predictive results. And what that's going to do is it's going to ensure that you can actually grow with this and not feel overwhelmed. It's going to ensure that you actually get results. It's going to ensure that we're playing by the rules and guidelines of social media platforms. And it's also going to allow you to make adjustments, because every business is unique.
Yeah, no, I love that. So as, we are getting to the end of this episode, kind of putting it all on the founder here. If someone is kind of on the fence about Six Sigma funnels, starting the free trial, which I don't know why they would be on the fence, but what would you tell them to jump into the SSF bandwagon?
I would say, yes, it's a 30-day free trial. Why not try it? But what I would say is, if you believe relationships are key to the success of your business, and believe it or not, some people don't, and I met them and I was really puzzled. But if you believe that relationships are the key to you achieving your business goals, and I think 99% of people listening to this are saying I do. Right. So if you truly believe in that, then my question is, if there was a way for you to scale those relationships far bigger and greater than you could ever imagine, would you do it? I'm sure the answer would be yes. My next question would be, if you can get a predictive result and know with accuracy whether you're doing good or bad and how to make the adjustments to maximize your relationships, would you do it? I'm sure the answer is yes. And then if you knew that out of all of that, you would get a predictive result, a guaranteed conversion of for every 5 relationships, 1 would become a customer. Would that be better for your business than what you're currently doing? Or do you just want to add it on because you're happy with what you're doing, but you want to add it on? I would think the answer is yes. So that is how I would make a decision on trying a 30-day trial. If you don't believe in relationships, definitely don't use it. If you don't want to track your success and know if you're doing good or not, you kind of just want to throw it out there and just see what sticks, don't use a system because you'll hate the tracking. And if you're not really concerned about a predictive result, you're just happy with whatever you get, don't use Six Sigma funnels. So take control of your business. We're all here for a very limited time. That's like I'm 47 years old, about to be 48 in May. My mom passed away 7 years ago. She passed away at 57 or 58. She had me when she was 17. And between that, really the passing of my mom, that was probably the catalyst that put me to where I am today with Six Sigma funnels. It made me realize that time is limited. And we're either here to make an impact or why are we here? So I would encourage everyone, if you want to live a fulfilling and amazing, beautiful life for you and your family, you don't have time to mess around with stuff that might work. You got to just focus on what works, and it's relationships. So just stop wasting time and just focus on relationships with social media, and you'll be able to, I think, have the best life possible for your business.
I love that. And as entrepreneurs and, we're normally, sort of slaves to our business. So getting that time back, getting those results, getting those predictive results on top of it, definitely a game changer for business. So thank you so much, Jim, for taking the time to kind of go everything top to bottom, really excited about Six Sigma funnels, the free trial with no obligation so that they can check it out for themselves. Big things coming in addition to all the growth and other steps and plans that you have, and excited to be part of this relationship-based economy that you're building together. So thank you so much for being part of Nicole's Business Notebook.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So, as relationships are paramount for me to be successful. I have my business friends here we're talking to each week to kind of explain what they're doing and how we can grow together. I think this is the greatest, sort of cherry on top to continue to allow us all to grow together and do better business together. Again, it's Nicole Banks with Nicole's Business Notebook, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Nicole's Business Notebook. Subscribe and follow for more tips, insider secrets, and hard-earned wisdom so that we can all do better business together. See you next time.